Last week, Kim Ogg announced, the district attorney announced charges of felony murder and felony tampering against two former police officers, Officer Goins and Officer Bryant, in relation to the Tuttle and Nicholas shooting deaths that occurred in the botched, quote-unquote, botched drug raid here in Houston, Texas. I don't think the DA went far enough. I think if Officer Bryant was also involved in falsifying the documents to obtain the warrant, that he should also be charged with felony murder. Felony murder doesn't mean intent to kill. It means you committed a felony and you should have known a death could have occurred. I think every officer involved that was aware of the falsity of the underlying information to get the warrant should be charged. I think it's horrifying. I think it evidences why we need to end the war on drugs in America now. Officer Goins, apparently his story now was first he had a CI, then he bought the drugs himself, and now we don't know. But it was all a lie. I will tell you, white victims, African-American officer that led this, I don't think it has anything to do with race. I think it has everything to do with the war on drugs and bad policing. I'd love to hear your thoughts.
I think that Kim Ogg did a wonderful job in bringing forth murder charges against Officer Goins. What's scary about this is how long have these kind of acts been going on and covered up? How many people have been shot and murdered and sentenced to prison with long jail sentences by corrupt cops and corrupt systems that support corrupt cops? But we now have a DA that's in office that is very sincere about justice across the board. But I would like to see a real investigation going back decades into how many people have been the victims of police corruption in drug arrests, especially search warrants and no-knock warrants that for decades put thousands of people in prison.
And desperately thousands of black people. And that's ultimately one of the huge issues with the war on drugs, is its impact on specific demographics or communities, the African-American community, as opposed to other communities. It has to end. Another thing that I don't think was addressed, in the aftermath of the botched raid, Acevedo released a timeline. The chief of police did a whole lot to bolster the work of Squad 15. Even in his press conference yesterday or last Friday, he praised Squad 15. I think this is on Acevedo's watch. I think he should be fired right away. He has no credibility.
There shouldn't be a Squad 15, 13, or 12 after what they did.
Exactly.
You cannot praise a squad that participated in the cold-blooded execution
well, if they didn't
of
know,
two
they
innocent
didn't know.
people.
Like if they didn't
Stop
all
right there,
know.
Charles. You believe that BS.
I don't know.
But they didn't know.
But you know what?
Charles,
Acevedo should have known. He should be fired.
I guarantee you, they all knew and took part in that cover-up.
Do you think the chief can remain
I'm
chief
telling
with
you,
any credibility?
they took part in that cover-up. They all knew.
If they should all be charged. But do you think Acevedo should be fired?
I think he's wrong, very wrong, for supporting Squad 15.
He needs to be fired.